Hello everybody, this is John the Comics Guy and I want to welcome you to one of my videos here. Today I want to talk about graded books. Are you into graded books? Are you one of the folks that can't stand the whole idea of taking a comic book, something you have to flip and read to enjoy, and slapping it in plastic to be forced to crack open a slab to enjoy your book? Tell me what you think. Sound off down in the comments below and let me know what your thoughts are. But I do personally. I do buy some graded books. Primarily, I buy raw books, but there's a lot of times that I'll get a very expensive book or a book that I think has a lot of value. That's one of the hot books, and I will what I consider monetize it. And what that means is I will put it in a slab. I will have it slabbed, and then that at least as I always felt takes the grading argument out of it. And then it just becomes a matter of discussing the price. So that helps me with monetizing my books. Then we could discuss if you're willing to pay for the book or not, but it's much reduced of a debate on the grade when it's graded by a third party. So that as a dealer really helps me. I don't really know what to discuss even in terms of I heard that the CGC I guess CGC gate, right? The employee getting books and swapping them. What are you going to do about that? That is so far behind me. I won't even really discuss that. I have nothing to participate or add into that other than that's a horrible crime. That's horrible ripping people off like that. It's horrible. That's stealing, and that I want to try to again keep our conversation positive. So nothing I could do about that, but just generally speaking, what do you think of grading? If you could trust the company and they grade it properly, what do you think of it? So I like the presentation. As you can see behind me, I have a lot of my graded books. I have some of my favorite books in my collection. And something that my OCD drives me to do is, as much as I can, keep the size formats similar. And since I have CGC graded books, I'm going to share with you some of the things I do that make the collecting process more pleasurable for me. So I think that's where I'm leading with this conversation. I'm not so much thinking that I want to have graded books to hang them on my wall. For me, it's just when I touch, feel a book. I actually do like the graded book. So this is a CGC graded book. Not a particularly valuable book. J. Scott Campbell drew it. I think he is a magnificent artist. But now, so when I have a book like this that's in my bookcase, what about my other books? I also, with some of the better books, put them in comic skins. I'm not going to really talk much about comic skins other than, as you could tell, I create my own label via Photoshop. And again, this is for my collecting pleasure. I'm not selling them like this, but I find a graphic that I like. I find that a title version I like. I'll grade it. I have been doing this since 1976. So fundamentally, I think I'm a pretty darn good grader. I think I'm very accurate. Where there could be any questions, I'll also use this book. So I don't know if any of you have this book, but I like it. It's CGC's official guide to grading comics. So I will use this as a reference as well, besides my 40-something years of grading books. But besides that, what I think is kind of cool is notice the sizing of this. So you have a graded book, you have a book in a comic skin, and they're basically the same size. If they're off, they might be off maybe a 16th or a 32nd of an inch from height to size. So when they slide in my bookcase, they look great. I will notice, and again, this bothers me not at all, but notice the thickness of the comic skin is a little thinner, maybe a 16th of an inch thinner than a CGC graded book, but fundamentally, I don't. That's where my OCD gives me a break. I don't care. I think they look great. I actually like my labels a little bit more. But these comic skins are not cheap, right? So if you're getting books graded at CGC, it might, depending on your membership level, might be like $29, $30 a book to get graded. These comic skins can be upwards of 20. With shipping, might be $20 per comic skin. What I do like about it, though, is I could peel the sides off. I could read the book, and then I could put it back in the comic skin, and when I store them, they're the same size. Now, again, $20 a book just to store them, that's not cheap. So let me show you what else I do. But I use top loaders. So I use top loaders, and specifically the Golden Age sized top loaders. So as you'll notice, the Golden Age sized top loaders really are very close, very similar in size. So they may be a 1/16 of an inch less wide. It's not bad. Again, my OCD will tolerate that. The way I design the label, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, I make them approximately the same height. So again, my OCD will forgive the fact that it's not perfect, but using Golden Age top loaders is the key for me. Again, this is my personal habit, but let me show you how I do this. So this is a book, right? I slide the book in a Mylar, a 2mm Mylar, put it in a top loader. But then I have lamination material, right? So I'll get an 8x10 lamination material, put it in a laminator, so it has nothing in there. It's just basically thin, clear plastic. Then I'll get cardboard and fold it down the middle. And I will use a glue stick, and I will glue a label that I make. I measured it out to exactly the measurements I want, and I will glue that label onto the cardboard, and then you have that, it's kind of like a V, right? You have the cardboard, and then I'll slide the plastic material that you got from the laminator right in the middle, and I'll seal it with a glue stick. So look at that. So look how it looks. I slide it, literally, I slide it, and it goes right to the edge. So there really is very little movement there, right? I mean, that's pretty snug. So I measured this piece of cardboard, or the folding cardboard, to basically be of the same height as the comic skin and the graded book. So, and again, using the graphics I like, I even added this little thing to show that it's a key. I love that. So I find it, I think they look great. A lot of people have asked me about them because sometimes I'll show them on this channel, and they're asking me, where do I get those? I make them. I do it from Photoshop. I'll add the piece of plastic. I'll glue gun it in the middle, and then it comes out and it slides in so nice. And again, as easy it is to read the book in the comic skin, it's certainly easier through a top loader. But the top loader I buy on eBay, I think they end up to be like $2.40 per top loader. For Golden Age top loader, that's cheap. Remember, John Lai is cheap. John the Comic Guy is cheap. I squeak when I walk, but you know what? I could afford a $2.50 top loader. I'm okay with that. So that's how I enjoy my collection, and I do that with, you know, some of my favorite books that I just don't want to bother getting graded, that I know I want to read again, or that I just want it to present nicer for myself. Again, it's not like I have big parties here and have people admire my comics. That's not how I do it. But it helps me as a collector enjoy my collecting experience a lot more doing that. What do you do? Do you get the same bags and board size for all your books, right? Super Golden Age comics don't fit in a Silver Age bag. What do? I tend to use the bigger bag and keep it uniform because that helps avoid triggering my OCD. What do you do? Because you're comic collectors, I have a feeling you have that kind of behavior too. Let me know. Sound off below in the comments. I'm really curious on how you collect. Also, as always, if you like this video, if you like and find the content helpful, or you want to know more about these labels, let me know. Please hit the subscribe button. I really do appreciate you. This is John the Comic Guy. This is episode 9 or 10. My mind is going. I'm having a senior moment, people. But I want to thank you for joining me today. It's John the Comic Guy. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.